Today's video is sponsored by Samsung. Yo guys, Travis here, and this is the Samsung Q990C Soundbar, and it is a complete Dolby Atmos experience in a box, and it's really awesome. In 2023, immersive sound is more available than it ever has been, especially with solutions like this soundbar in particular, but now the content is available as well, from everything from movies to music to games. All of those support Dolby Atmos in one way or another, and most streaming services, as far as movies and music go, offer some sort of immersive format, and this soundbar takes it to the next level. Now, if you're not familiar with Dolby Atmos, it is a newer immersive sound format that basically is the follow-up to what was 5.1 surround sound that most people have come to experience over the last 20 years, and it is a significant step up, with sounds being able to travel to the sides of you and even above you and around you, of course. You are fully immersed in that sound, and when you get to truly experience it in the content that you love, like a movie or music from your favorite artist or a game that you're playing that you're actually being able to be a part of, it's really cool. Now, the minimum spec for Dolby Atmos is 7.1.4, and what that means is 7 speakers around you in a circle, 1 subwoofer, and 4 upward speakers that are delivering that sound above you. This soundbar in particular is 11.1.4, which steps that up a little bit and adds more channels in the front so you can hear everything in front of you a lot more immersively. Now, one thing that stands out with this setup is its rear speakers do have upward firing channels as well, so that gives you the rear upward firing feel. So if something is coming up behind you in a game or something flies by you in a movie, you can hear that above you and behind you at the same time. Now, when it comes to home theater experience, it can be a little bit of a daunting setup, especially if you're not too familiar with a lot of the buzzwords and connecting everything. And in this case, it's super simple. We have a Samsung TV connected to this Samsung soundbar, and they talk to each other incredibly nicely. It's one HDMI cable from the soundbar directly to the TV, and then power everywhere else, and that's it. So the rear speakers just need power to each one. The subwoofer needs power, of course, and everything else is connected wirelessly. And as soon as you connect the soundbar to the TV, they begin to talk to each other, and it makes things super simple as far as controlling volume with one remote. Changing any sort of settings, the TV automatically changes the sound format. So if you're watching something in stereo and then you switch to something in Atmos, it's automatically going to talk to the soundbar and tell it to switch formats. Ease of use is something that I really appreciate. So the fact that it's just a couple cables for power and one HDMI cable is nice. And then it pairs right up to the Samsung SmartThings app, where you can control all of your settings, get firmware upgrades, and then tweak the EQ to the way that you want it, or even turn on some of the extra features that I'm going to talk about in just a second. One of the features that I found to be very interesting is Q Symphony, and what that allows for is when you connect this Samsung soundbar to a Samsung TV, it allows you to use the TV speakers in tandem with the soundbar, adding even more channels to the soundbar so you get an even more immersive experience, and you're not letting those TV speakers do absolutely nothing, which is the case with all other soundbars. Now, after everything is set up and ready to go, the next thing would usually be calibration, and where Samsung took the ease of use to the next level is their calibration is automatically done for you. Using what Samsung calls SpaceFit Sound Pro, the soundbar and the rear speakers in the sub automatically calibrate to the room to give you the best experience in your space, and that's going to be very important because every single use case for this sound system is going to be vastly different depending on if you have concrete floor, tile floor, carpet, and it's in an area with vaulted ceilings or low ceilings, or if you're in a small box room or an open room. Calibration is going to be a big factor in the way that something sounds, and your space is going to sound different than someone else's. So the fact that it does this automatically without you having to even think about it is very cool. So here we are in the setup, and I do want to touch on the fact of just how clean it is. I do have one of the rear speakers right there, of course, and that is going to provide the full surround effect, not only above, but behind. And then we do have the soundbar and the sub up in front. But one of the features that I don't know if I've ever seen is the ability to pair this full sound system to the TV wirelessly, being able to have Dolby Atmos over Wi-Fi. So there isn't even the necessity for an HDMI cable to go from the soundbar to the TV, cleaning cables up even further. Now, depending on where you have your TV set up in your home, I don't think that many people want cables running all over the place. So the ability to have these rear speakers have just power cables behind the couch, and then we have the soundbar with cables managed behind the TV and the sub. Cables aren't even really a thing that are in sight, and it's just nice to be able to have this level of sound without a bunch of wires running everywhere and a complicated setup. Speaking of wireless functions, another feature that I really like is the ability to use Tidal with this soundbar and have wireless Dolby Atmos play directly from my phone. So there isn't a need to be able to hunt through menus on the TV or even have another third-party device connected to the soundbar to be able to get Dolby Atmos music. It's right there and it's super useful. This soundbar will also integrate really easily into your home with support for Amazon Alexa, making it really easy to make requests. And additionally, it supports Apple AirPlay 2, making it super easy to stream music from your iPhone, iPad, or Mac directly to the soundbar straight from your device. Dolby Atmos as a format has existed since 2016 and mostly used for movies. A few years ago, it was heavily adopted for music, and now it is available in gaming on both Xbox and PlayStation, and this soundbar takes it to the next level, automatically engaging its game mode as soon as it knows that you're playing a game. Game Mode Pro works in tandem with the TV, so they both engage their game mode, allowing for low latency, as well as a special EQ that's tweaked specifically for gaming, so you know when that person's running up right behind you. Personally, over the last few years, I've experienced Atmos in many different ways, ranging from movies to music and now games, now that PlayStation supports it, and those setups have ranged from Dolby Atmos music mixing studios all the way down to headphones, and this soundbar can definitely pull its own weight. Most soundbar setups feel very flat and like they're only in front of you and don't give you any sort of sense of depth, and this is not like that at all. The two rear speakers definitely make it feel like a dome of sound around you, and the fact that those have two upward firing channels as well really make you immersed in the content, and the sound quality is very good. And honestly, one of the biggest things I appreciate about this soundbar is the fact that it's super easy to set up, sit down, watch your content, or play a game and not even have to think about tweaking a bunch of settings. All in all, the Samsung Q990C soundbar sounds great, is super easy to set up, and is the perfect upgrade for anybody that wants to elevate their home theater experience. If you guys want to learn more about the Samsung Q990C soundbar, I'm gonna have a link in the video description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good night.